Huge landslide down the road here in Big Sur. I think it was about a quarter mile. Really something else, man. I love that area. Just absolutely beautiful spot there along the coast. Highway 1 there in Big Sur. Man, what a scene. They say it's going to take about a year to clear the road and make any repairs. I guess the road's going to be probably pretty messed up. Probably too much stress. It's a hell of a lot of weight on it, you know. So these welfare cuts Trump's talking about, these things are going to hurt the status quo the most. It's guys like Rich Dad, okay, and his ilk that are going to get hurt most if Trump does these cuts. Just remember that. So they're not talking about that. They're very deceptive in the mainstream media. Or maybe a lot of them are really stupid. They just don't understand these things, which shouldn't surprise me. I mean, the ignorance and confusion is all these reporters for the mainstream media, they're getting their share, so maybe they really believe their crap. I like to think they're not deliberately deceiving people, but maybe they are. I mean, people will do anything for money. If they'll murder for money, they'll deceive for money. Okay, but people got to understand that, you know, to stop this train and get it on new track is a big deal. I mean, there's so many evil forces opposed to that, okay? They want death, man. They want FEMA camps. They want people to lose their will to live. Just go get your injection, save the planet. Just so let me keep my numbers. Let me keep my position in place in this world, okay? And I don't care what happens to you. As long as I got price fixing, as long as I got plenty of people to slave away to keep me well heeled, I'm fine. See, there's so much evil in the land. God Almighty, we need help. And people that don't see that, we need God's help, man. I mean, crying out to the Lord, praying. These are the things that keep me coping. And you know, pray for each other and just pray for humanity. And God help us to, you know, something to snap us out of our trance, our mesmerization from these evildoers. The love of money and just buying into this whole system is so evil and wicked that we've got to just accept our own culpability and repent, all of us, of what? Of the evil in the land, okay? And this cucking, we've got to, you know, say, no, we want our dignity, okay? We demand our dignity. Yeah, I mean, there was a time in American history which really baffles my mind, you know, is that from what I understand, let's say, from what I've seen, evidence that corroborates, is that there was a time when even an organization as benign as you think as the YMCA, okay, was doing a lot of cucking. And this is an organization that goes back, I think, almost 200 years. But there was a time when they had nude swimming days, okay? And these were days when the girls never would swim naked, to my knowledge. Or, I don't know, maybe there was days when it was co-ed. But the boys had to swim naked because they were saying something about the material of their swimsuits was clogging the filters. I can't remember specifically what the deal was, but that was the claim, that it was just the men's swimsuits that were a problem in the pool and not the women's swimsuits. So the men would swim naked. And, you know, well, the women could say, well, I like that idea. I mean, you know, it just depends. I mean, some women call the cops if the guy, you know, shows his ding-dong to them. You know, they're flashing, they're exposing themselves, right? A lot of women don't appreciate that. But I guess these are women that enjoy seeing the nude male, let's say. So these are days when you know, the women could go and just, you know, they didn't have to see naked women, but they got to enjoy plenty of naked men. I mean, you know, it boggles the mind to think that, you know, today, looking at that, you say, well, that would never fly in today's YMCA. And you're right. In that sense, we've become less cucked, I would say. But that was a time when we were evidently quite cucked in that regard. You see, this is how they break down our defenses, by doing these things that actually assault our dignity, okay? Because it really is kind of an undignified thing. I mean, I don't know. The whole thing, it's just kind of creepy, if you know what I mean. And again, I'm not trying to detract from the, you know, women. They want to enjoy the nude male. Look, I get that too. I get, you know, the erotic value. I'm a sinner too, and, you know, I can be lustful, and I get the whole thing, okay? I'm just, you know, bringing this out because this is something that I have witnessed. And I say, I'm glad we've made progress in that regard. And we have made progress. Dr. Group was pointing out on the Alex Jones Show how we've made progress in exposing GMOs and companies putting pressure on them with buying you know the power of the purse to choose the products you want by being clean or not. Okay, GMO free, for example, organic. So that is putting natural market forces on the competition for all the junk food. That's really just poison. They're poisoning us overtly. Okay, for example, the aspartame. There was a little blurb on the news about how, oh yes, it's causing blindness, other serious health problems, maybe dementia. Okay, and it's in all the gum now. It's in all the diet soda pop people think is healthy, maybe making them gain weight. It's creating wood alcohol in your blood. A very toxic effect. Listen to what Dr. Russell Blaylock says about it. But yet it's not illegal. The FDA still generally recognizes it as safe, okay? And there's no talk about taxing the crap out of it like tobacco and seeing it as a health threat. I mean, as a poison, really is what it is. So we're making progress in other areas, but ultimately, we've got to understand how the main cucking is taking place, and it is on a social, political, and economic level, okay? This is what's going on here. They're stealing our wealth. This is what we're doing. We're accepting it. We're saying, okay, I'm being bred like livestock, like a farm animal, to just go out and be a rent slave. No hope, or very little hope, much like pulling a rabbit out of the hat, to ever expect to be a homeowner. This is a trend. I don't know if it started in California, but it's flourishing in California, where less than half of the residents of California are homeowners today. This is what I'm talking about, being cucked on a national level and a civilization-wide, because America is spreading their crap all over the world. So people that say they hate capitalism, we understand why, okay? This is the crap they're doing under the guise of capitalism, because crony capitalism is the exact opposite, is the antithesis of crony capitalism. And when you understand that's how your wealth is being stolen, then you say, wait, this is no better than communism or fascism, any form of totalitarian kleptocracy, authoritarianism, oligarchism. Okay, it's no better than any of that. And that's true. It's bad, 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 bad. But a lot of people have profited immensely from this. They've benefited greatly. And they are the status quo. They are the recipients. In terms of the wealth disparity, they're on the side that has really been exalted, okay, through this mess. Because they were the ones that were most ready to abandon conscience, abandon integrity, and abandon ethics and moral, okay, principles and stuff like that. These are the ones that have become extremely wealthy. Their numbers have gone up dramatically over the years of the last 50 years or so that I've watched this go on, since the assassination of JFK, going off the gold standard. These are nail after nail in our coffin. The bailout of '08. And we should never get over these things. That's like saying you should forget history. No, you got to remember it and bring it up over and over. Alex Jones, if you're listening, man, bring it up over and over and over. Talk about these things and say, no, we need to, how do we reverse this? Be honest. Talk about solutions. How are we going to decrease the wealth inequality, okay? How are we going to stop the wealth disparity from growing? Talk about it. Talk about how it's going to work for everybody, because America is for everybody, not for somebody's. Okay, it's not a bunch of special interest groups and just select individuals out there. If it doesn't benefit everybody, it's not working. And that's the problem we've got. It's not working. And it's unsustainable. Anybody can see, you put two and two together, it's untenable. It can't go on forever. A Ponzi scheme, a pyramid scheme can't. It's got to collapse. It's a house of sand built upon fraud. And it's teetering on the brink of destruction. And God knows, I wish it would all fall apart. Sure, it'd be nice for it to be gentle, but I'm way past that to be goody two-shoes about this thing, man. I mean, it's like pulling a Band-Aid off. It's like, hurry up. You keep on dinking around with it, put it on, pulling it off a little, putting it back on more, and the wound is, you're not letting it heal. You're just making the wound worse. Yeah, pull the damn thing off and let the wound fester for a while. But then it's going to finally heal. That's what we need. We need, essentially, what I'm talking about is really making straight the paths for the Lord. It is that serious, this point in history, that even if it gets everybody dead that stands against the established system, the beast system that we've got here, it doesn't matter. God's will is still going to be accomplished. And you're on the right side of history. If you're fighting the good fight and you're for real, don't worry about a collapse of society. Okay, but that $20 trillion debt, that's illegitimate. Okay, that's not mine. And you can't say, oh, well, we got to pay it. We got, while your numbers are going up. Well, who do you think's paying it? The poor, the blue collar, the working class. That's whose backs it's falling on. And it's not their fault. They didn't do it. That's the last thing in the world. That'd be like cutting their own throat, shooting themselves in the foot. Why in the hell would they want to do that? It's not their fault. They didn't do it. They're the most innocent. Yet that's whose backs it's falling on. When you debase the currency, by increasing the cost of living, by increasing the tax on the poor and the working class and blue collar, what effect do you think that has? It makes their lives miserable. And you think you're going to escape that misery because you've got high numbers? Forget it, buddy. You're going to hell. People got to talk about these things. And I'm talking to everybody, every good American. I don't care where in the world you are. You can be a good American. If you believe in equality, man, you're on the right track. You're a godly person. You're a friend of God. And if you're a friend of God, you're a friend of humanity. You're real. You're true. You're honest. You have integrity. You have substance. You have oil in your lamp. You got silver. You're not all dross. You're not all sin. You're not all wretchedness and weakness. No, you're good, and there will be good that will be saved in you. Being a friend to God is the way to be. The only way to be. So on to, I don't want to talk about this Manchester. What's causing it? It's just letting all the immigrants. Look, they're causing a problem. Yes, it's diabolical. They're bringing in the terrorists, the New World Order cabal. They want destabilization. They want problems. Okay, these people are evil. That's it. And we've all got to get that through our stinking heads, that you can never underestimate the diabolical nature of these people. Only do so at your own peril. I'm not. Of course they're creating the problem. So that's who the terrorist is. It's guys like ISIS and the New World Order cabal that are one and the same, but they think they hate each other. But no, the New World Order's playing them. When ISIS starts figuring out they're getting played by the New World Order, they'll stop suicide bombing themselves. They'll say, this is a battle against evil. This is a battle against Satan. I need to read the book of Ephesians where it says, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against the principalities, against the powers of this dark world. These money masters and their sycophantic political minions. That's who it's against. That's the Satan is there, man. These are the ones manipulating us, ISIS. All over the world, all you communists and socialists that really believe your stuff. All you people, the capitalists, understand what's going on here, man. It's serious. And yeah, it involves murderous terrorists. Yeah, boogeymen. Yeah, it's messed up, man. Get it through our heads that we're in a lot of trouble. So that's the best thing I can say about the Manchester attacks. It's just, it is as sick and twisted and macabre as anybody can imagine. It's all of those things. And I don't think we should give it any more attention than it's due. But some dude plowed into a crowd in the Times Square. I didn't talk about that last week. But I know the mainstream media was quick to mention the guy had been smoking pot. But they didn't mention, just a little side note. They said, and he was doing horse tranquilizer, angel's dust, PCP, right? But no discussion about the distinctions between the two substances. So I think that's peculiar. But they were very clear. It definitely wasn't terrorism, right? No. It's not terrorism when some guy takes his car and drives it onto a public roadway, a public sidewalk or whatever. How messed up is that? Okay, yes, that's terrorism, folks. Okay? And we're not going for it in America. We're not going for intimidation or nothing. We're going to keep our free speech. It's our Constitution. We lose that, we lose it all. We lose our First Amendment, our Second Amendment. We've got rights. We need our Fourth Amendment, our privacy and our papers and effects and all this crap. People's phones shouldn't be able to be gone through by anybody without a warrant. But yet they're doing that kind of stuff. And David Knight's always talking about this, how they confiscate stuff, and they say, well, it's a civil matter, so we're just taking his stuff and confiscating it with no due process or nothing, right? It's just theft, more theft, emblematic, indicative of what's coming down from the top. It's trickle down theft, criminality, and it's just that's what our country's come to, where we've got a small gaggle. Then if 10% of the people of America wanted the bailout of '08, then that's who's running it. They're saying they're the evil ones that say, yeah, we want to keep things going on this course. We want the wealth and income disparity to grow. We want to keep stealing the wealth of the nation, of the people of the nation, right out from under their stupid, naive, idiotic, ignorant, confused